Darling, believe me, I respect your feelings. But I think you have to be realistic. We really never know what another person is capable of, even someone we love, especially when they're under pressure. And you have no idea what kind of pressure Alan was under when...
But Grandma, it doesn't matter what kind of pressure he was under. Alan is not capable of... Look, what possible motive would Alan have for murdering a man like Joe Bradley, a man he hardly knew? Grandma, did my father tell you a reason why he suspects Alan of this murder?
Well, Michael thought it was strange that Alan suddenly disappeared on the afternoon that Joe Bradley was murdered. And all the time you were gone, there were articles in newspapers all over the world saying that the authorities were looking for Alan and he didn't call or make himself known or come forward or give an explanation. And he also obviously didn't want any of us to know where you were, since he instructed the telephone operators at that hotel in Puerto de la Cruz not to put through any long-distance calls. And he made sure that none of your letters or postcards reached us.
Look, Grandma, I agree with you. It doesn't look very good. But it's not enough for my father to suspect Alan of a murder. Grandma, is there something that you haven't told me? I mean, look, if my father has any reason to suspect Alan of a murder like that, I have every right to know. I'm his wife.
And now, the award-winning Guiding Light.
Daddy, if you've got any other surprises up your sleeve, I'd appreciate you telling me about them so I don't get
Now,
caught
darling,
off
please,
guard.
I am not trying to surprise you. I am trying to warn you. You see, if Lieutenant Wyatt goes through the statements of our bank accounts, he may make a connection between the fraud in the books of the Spaulding Enterprises and the large deposits that you and I have been making. And then we'll be in deep trouble.
Why? We didn't steal any money from Spaulding Enterprises.
No, but we did make $1 million on that Jocelyn Electronics deal that we forced Alan to buy. Yeah. And the thing that's going to implicate us is that Miles Jocelyn has been paying us for the last 10 months in installments. And those are the exact 10 months that the police are now investigating.
Daddy, aren't you assuming just a little too much?
Darling, what do you mean by that?
You're assuming that the amount that we got from Miles is the exact amount that's been embezzled from Spaulding Enterprises, and the chances of that being true are highly unlikely.
No, but what is highly likely is that Ross and Amanda will find out about the personal gains that we made on that Jocelyn Electronics deal.
We've survived their scrutiny before. We'll survive it again.
But if we don't, we're going to find ourselves embroiled in another scandal. And this time, we may not get away with it.
I just wish Mike would get Alan back here soon so Lieutenant Wyatt would stop bothering us and start questioning Alan about Joe's murder.
And the minute that's over, we'll be right back at Spaulding Enterprises going through those books again, as he is this morning.
And then you'll find out that Diane was responsible for the fraud just as she was for everything else everywhere she worked.
And was she ever caught or prosecuted? No. But this time we may be.
Daddy, we've never been implicated up to this point. Why are you worried that we're going to be implicated now?
Because of that damn diary that she kept.
What diary?
Well, the diary that Joe took when he murdered her.
I didn't know anything about a diary being taken from Diane's apartment.
Well, the police don't divulge everything in a murder case.
In this particular case, the police aren't even sure that Joe was the murderer, so why are you? And why are you so positive that Joe was the one who ended up with Diane's diary?
Lunch will be at 12:30, Mr. McCord. In the meantime, I thought you might like some coffee.
Oh, thank you. Mrs. Renfield, did you see a small red leather-bound book of mine? Last time I saw it was here in the desk.
Yes, I packed it away with the rest of the things that I took up to the attic before Lieutenant Wyatt came to search the house.
Thank goodness. I don't need to tell you the problems it would cause if that book fell into the wrong hands.
Well, I can bring the carton down now, if you wish.
Oh, please, but don't let Nola see it, not with her more than curious nature.
She must have been fascinated with your laboratory.
Yes, she was. But I only let her see what I wanted her to see.
That was very wise.
I must say, though, as uneducated as Nola is, she has a very keen perception and an uncanny memory for the smallest detail.
Yes. She seems to remember everything about every movie she's ever seen, down to the most inconsequential details. In fact, she seems as fascinated by old films as she is in members of the opposite sex. Frankly, Mr. McCord, I was quite shocked to find her here with that young Mr. Lewis the night after that opening.
Well, I think her fascination with Mr. Lewis has to do with his family's millions, which is another lesson I'll have to teach Nola before it's too late.
Well, I don't want to dwell on it. But if we're going to have all sorts of young men running in and out of this house, it's only going to make our job a great deal more difficult.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that, Mrs. Renfield. In a short while, Nola will be in her last month of pregnancy, and she'll be in no condition to be enchanting members of the opposite sex.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you have a good rest?
Oh, I did. I feel like a new woman.
Well, Mrs. Renfield brought some coffee, and help yourself.
Oh, great.
When you want me to bring those things down that we discussed, just let me know.
I shall, thank you.
Six. Oh, goodness. So, I was thinking, did you ever see Madame Curie with Greer Garson and Walter Pidgeon?
No, I never did.
Well, when we were in the laboratory working this morning, I started thinking about the movie. Of course, they were very, very, very poor.
Well, I wouldn't hold that against them.
Well, I did. I'm not. It's just that, well, when I saw that movie, I got so depressed because there she was trying to save the world, and they didn't even have enough money to buy a decent meal. So when we were working in the laboratory, I started thinking, Nola, you didn't even get the point of that movie. Well, it's like all these books. I would like to read every single one of these books, you know, but I wouldn't understand any of them.
Of course you would. If you start with the more rudimentary texts and slowly work your way up to the more advanced and specialized volumes.
Well, that's easy for you to say because you've done a lot of studying and everything.
Well, didn't you ever study in school?
Well, I studied the calendar, you know, waiting for vacations and everything, but I spent most of my time at Proctor's. That was the local movie theater.
Oh, but Nola, the movies provided you with an education of sorts. I mean, you have a keen sense of every detail, plot, character. I'm sure you've been able to apply some of that knowledge to your everyday life.
You know, I think you're right, because I was reading the newspaper today. Alan Spaulding is on some island, and Mike Bauer's chasing him, but it was an island. I kept thinking it reminds me. Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, Dorothy L'Amour, Road to somewhere. One of those pictures.
Well, I don't know about Bob Hope, but Alan Spaulding is in the Canary Islands, on one of them called Tenerife. Here, I'll find it for you. Ah, yes, here it is, in the Atlantic, off the coast of Morocco.
Morocco, that's it. Road to Morocco.
I see. Well, from the information I have, they flew to Tenerife from Casablanca.
Casablanca. Did you ever see that one?
No, I don't think so.
Humphrey Bogart. Oh. He says to Ingrid Bergman, "Here's looking at you, kid." Huh? What about, you must remember this. A kiss is just a kiss. A sigh is... You don't remember that one?
Nola, you must try not to relate everything in life to a movie. It's unrealistic.
You know, Kelly Nelson used to say the same thing. Oh, never mind. So where did you say Alan Spaulding was after he left,
Right here, Tenerife.
My goodness, you've got one of your little red markers there. So did you go to Tenerife to dig up old bodies, too?
Tim, I can't believe you're back. When did you get here? And where were you? Why didn't you call
Wait a
us?
minute. Whoa. One question at a time, huh? I'm sorry, but as you can tell, I haven't seen this lady for quite a while.
You look wonderful.
Thanks. You do, too. Look, why don't we sit over here and catch up on things and let Floyd and Leslie Ann have a little peace and quiet. Very nice meeting you.
You too, Tim. See you again soon, I hope.
Okay. Well,
So, when did you get back?
last night, I stopped by the hideout, and my mom said you just left.
Yes, Justin and Kelly had an emergency, so I went home.
I have to call Trudy right away. She's been...
I already beat you to it.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, I forgot about it being 3 hours earlier out in California, and her mom had to get her out of bed. I don't know, she didn't seem to mind too much.
I'm sure she didn't. She's been very worried. We all have.
Well, I'm still in one piece, so you don't have to worry anymore. I hear Kelly had a great birthday.
Well, part of one anyway. With his schedule, it's been really crazy with him doing his clerkship and
Morgan, what are you doing here? Tim!
Hey, Kelly.
Welcome home.
Thanks. I know I'm a little late, but happy birthday.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Morgan's just been telling me how busy you are.
Oh, yeah, really. But life's been too great to really complain about it. Listen, can I get you a cup of coffee?
No, thanks. Look, I think I'm going to go ahead and sit over with Floyd again. Nice seeing you again, Morgan.
Yes, you too. Let's get together soon.
Okay, sure. I'll give you a call. Take care.
You too.
Talk to you later.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Well, I thought we'd look through the catalog together to make sure that I was signing up for the right courses.
Well, great. You bring it?
Of course I brought it.
Why, hey, come on. No put down intended.
Have you spoken to, Ed today?
No, not since this morning.
Oh, has he heard anything from Bert?
No, not since her plane landed, but, well, we should hear something soon.